It's always just like
It's getting a little hot in here, a little steamy. Oh my gosh. Hi, welcome to the Miles and Moms podcast. We are a podcast for moms chasing goals through all seasons of life. I am Shanna, one of your co-hosts.
I'm Olivia.
And then we have our guest.
Yay! I'm Jacqueline. I'm so excited to be here. This is going to be so much fun.
Yes.
We are so excited to have Jacqueline on. She just has such a cool background. So we can't wait to dive into that conversation. But we are here to bring you training tips, mom and expert interviews, and the kind of best friend banter that makes you feel like you're on a run with us. Whether it's your first 5K, your next marathon, or a stroller tempo, we've got your miles and your sanity. Since we're building a new platform, we'd really appreciate it if you can rate, subscribe, and share our podcast with another fellow mama.
Yay! Oh my gosh. Okay. I am going to read the Everyday Hero shout out. I was waiting. My daughter, she knew I was about to start talking. And so she was like coming in here. I'm like,
Yeah,
don't
she's like,
say
hey,
anything."
yeah.
Yeah. She's like, oh, my turn.
Always.
Yeah. So we have our Everyday Hero shout out. It's from Allison Knight. She just wrote in, my son and I completed our first half marathon this weekend. He even won his age group, 14 and under. It was a brutal, hilly course, but we were so proud of ourselves. That's amazing. That
Is amazing. And I can tell you, Allison, I am so jealous of you right now because while I've done all the running and my daughter has watched me do all the running, there's nothing in this world that would get my daughter to go on a run with me. Absolutely.
Really?
No. No. So I am so jealous. That is amazing. Congratulations. If you can send in your tips of how you did that, I don't care if it's bribery or like threatening of grounding, like let me know and I will use it.
I'm sure it was threatening.
Right.
I mean, and he's like fast too. He like won.
He won.
I know. I mean,
so cool.
I have 6 kids over here and I have people all the time. They're like, you're going to have a couple runners on your hand. I'm like, I don't know. Right now they're leaning into the dance world and I'm like really sad. I don't even have one runner right now. I mean, your daughter, she does like competitive cheer, right? I think from what I can see.
Yes. So she's so athletic. She's so good at it. We stay so busy with competitive cheer. She's been doing that since she was, oh my gosh, like 6 or 7 when we got into the world. So yes. So very still athletic, just very, very uninterested in running. Allergic to it.
Honestly, I was on a drive and I just had dropped off my kids at school, and on my way back I saw these the cutest moms, like their hair curled, put together, and they're out for a nice, like just brisk walk. And I literally almost texted Olivia and I was like, why aren't we that? Like, why are we out there killing ourselves for 12 miles at 6 a.m. in the morning before we do?
No, we have all thought that. All of us runners that are like on mile 11, we pass 2 cuties literally with a coffee in hand.
Yes.
Great. Yeah. And we're like, one day that's going to be us. That's good. And I look forward to it. I can't wait. You guys are living my dream.
Exactly.
It's so true. Imagine just like rolling into you could do your morning exercise and then roll into the rest of your day without it just being like, I'm still freezing, but also completely sweaty. And a shower is not even enough to heat you up. And your hair is just a disaster. And you're like, Mom, but I did run all these miles today. And hopefully someone asked me about it so I could be like, oh, that's why my hair looks like this.
Unless you're Jacqueline, then you just like get, and then you just like
honestly,
get after a marathon.
I think everybody's going to be so mad at you because you guys, before we got on, we got to talk a little bit just in private, and all we talked about was hair. And so I do think everybody's going to be mad at you because now they're like, we're just talking about motherhood and running, and we want to know about the hair.
Yeah,
they are. They're gonna see the clip, and they're gonna be like, "What's your secret?"
Yeah.
And it's going to have nothing to do with the content.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, how is everybody's week going? I know it's only Tuesday. It feels like it should be Friday, but...
Yeah. Race week for me. I'm getting ready to go to Chicago for my first High Rocks competition.
That's right.
So, yes. Yeah. So I'm going through like all of the taper crazies right now. I've got that. Those are on like full blast. You'll probably see me shaking. I'm just counting down my days. I need to do all the packing, get all of the glitter ready. So it's actually a pretty busy week for me.
That's awesome. That's so
Yeah,
exciting.
I'm hyped.
What does the training look like for high rocks? Like, I feel like it's pretty intense.
It has been because the running, I will say, I do think us runners, we do have a leg up when it comes to high rocks because it's 5, 6 miles that you end up having to do, and that's quite a few miles. But I have never been one for the weight training. I've gotten much more into it the older I've gotten and the more I've recognized that, hey, you know what? You actually really do need this for the longevity and to be able to run longer and run faster. And so that was the hardest part for me. So I was still on a 12-week plan that I've had to train for this.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I've seen, like, a few videos of it, and, like, part of me is, like, very invested and interested, and, like, maybe one day I'll try it, but it looks intense,
It
like,
is so
it
much fun.
looks rough.
Oh, it is so much fun. It is intense. It's not y'all out there running marathons. It's not more intense than marathon. It is so much fun. The vibes are so high. And it's really been nice because when I was doing all the marathons, my friends they did not want to train with me. They weren't going to train for a marathon with me, and nor did my husband. But with this, I'm going out there with like 4 groups of friends. My husband and I have got to do all of the training together. So I've had a blast with it.
Does it feel like the community is pretty accepting to, like, newbies?
Only been to like one competition, a half high rocks, but it was because it's a half high rock, so it's very much like learning it. And so it was very accepting of newbies. They want all the newbies because they want to introduce them to it and
Okay.
like teach them as they go. So yeah, it was yeah, 100%. Felt like a 5K for sure. Very
That's cool.
inviting, very approachable.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
cool.
That would probably be, like, the route I would ever go into it is because, like, I think I'm, like, intimidated to look stupid, but,
Mhm.
like, there's that side of me that's like, "But what other athletic side could I discover?" You know? But that's so cool. I'm so excited for you. When is that? Is that Saturday or
It'll
Sunday?
be Sunday for me. The women
Okay.
compete on Sunday.
Well, very cool.
That's so awesome.
You'll have to send it over to us so we can shout you out on the Miles and Moms podcast,
I'll do it.
Instagram.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
With your hair pulled out, looking like a badass.
After 2 hours.
Everybody else is all sweating and their hair's
Yeah.
flat.
Did we just do something? Did we just
We're like,
die? It's
"Oh."
You're
fine.
like, "I thought this was the Victoria's Secret walk." What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, how's your week been so far, Olivia? Are you you're not solo right now. Obviously, I ran with you this morning, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
finally had a little bit of a break there, had some relief with a spouse.
yeah. It's been so nice. The nice thing about wintertime is that a lot of times with pickleball, the guys don't play super early in the morning because something with the balls. I have no idea. My husband always tells me, he's like, no, it
What
makes
which
them.
balls? Those balls?
What?
Are these
Balls are getting smaller. That's
You know
got
what? All balls don't do well in cold. I think that's like the general consensus, right?
yeah.
So, yeah.
No balls like the cold. Got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
Yeah. Is it I wonder
You're
well,
all
now I'm, like, embarrassed to talk about the firmness of these pickleballs, but is that why? Is it just, like, it doesn't hit the same or
yeah, the firmness. Thank you. Yeah, no, I don't know if they can crack or something. He always tells me, and I always in the moment I'm like, that's crazy. That seems like that wouldn't make sense. But when I'm thinking about it now, I don't think I register it clearly. But I think they can, yeah, they crack or they don't bounce as well, or I don't know. It's all I cannot tell you that I don't know what's going on. I even went to go play pickleball the other day, like with my family. I was just with the kids, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we should do this like for like a girls' night or something because it is so
It
fun." But
is.
I
It is
can't
so
tell
much
the
fun.
difference. It is so fun. Like it's just like when you put the seriousness in it, I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't see, I just can't understand it because like I can see tennis. Tennis is so hard, and they're just working so hard to get across the court. But anyways, and I'm not saying that pickleballers don't. I just can't tell the difference of when it's like recreational or competition at all. And
well, I
like,
can show you because you don't wanna see me out on a pickleball court.
I
No
mean, I'm
coordination.
terrible too, but then I'm like, I can't be that bad because I'm hitting it all the time, and my son is, like, I mean, I don't know.
Plays once and she's like, "Oh, I'm a professional." Like, no,
Yeah.
like, I can win competitions, and she literally got over it one time, and she's like, this is what a
Yeah.
tennis pro feels like."
Yeah. It's, like, equal to feeling really good at ping pong, you know?
Mm.
But so I just, no, it's just funny. The reason I say that is, like, if I go watch my husband in his competition or in his tournament and people come up and they're like, "How's he doing?" And I'm like, "I think good." I can't tell. I honestly can't. I mean, they're working so hard. They're all like having seem like they're having a ton of fun. Sometimes someone's really frustrated. So I don't know. It's just, but I also like, I didn't grow up doing these kinds of sports. So, like, for me, it's just like really, and I don't watch it on TV, obviously. So, anyways, the reason I'm talking about this is because they don't play when it's really cold out, and it's been nice, so I had the mornings, which was great, and I actually like, I feel like that's been a rare thing to even get 2 mornings in a row. Like, we haven't gone for a run 2 days in a row in forever.
Yeah.
So
And you've been, like, training in, like, 75 plus degree weather on a good day. Like,
yeah.
well, I'm so
Yeah,
glad you got to experience a little bit of a winter cold,
I
44s,
know.
a little
It's been
below
so
50. Yeah.
it's like it's noticeable how different it is. It's just like
Yeah.
the impact is just so different on your body, and yeah, because there are so many times when you're like, "This is crazy. There's no way that I've been working this hard, and this is how I feel." And then once it finally cools down, you're like, "Oh, this is normal."
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. What about you? How's your week?
Oh, it's just starting.
I
I mean, today is, like, when the crazy begins. Monday's kind of like our chill of before the storm hits, and then Tuesdays, we have, obviously, all of our dance classes with my 2 girls, and then my son, he has 2 things going on. He has piano, and then he has his STEM thing, and I'm just like Tuesdays are just rough for my younger kids because 'cause they're just there for the ride, and so but yeah, it's good. It's crazy, like, I feel like my one of my daughters is just progressing so fast in the dance world, and I'm not a dance mom, so anybody that's listening, I'm like, that world is so foreign to me, I don't even know, like, what is good, but she's passing off skills just left and right, and it's crazy just to see your kids, like, lean into their skills, like, their own unique talents, and so I'm just like, I'm very invested in that right now. I'm like, how can I get her another dance class? Like, how can I get her to a tumbling 3 now and like really escalate it so she can be on the competition team? And it's really exciting, like as a mom, to just watch your kids thrive and like them come home and they're so excited. They're like a report card. She brought it out. She's like, look at my A's.
Yeah.
And she just, yeah, she's just loving it. And my other daughter, it's fun to see her finally invested in something. She's just been all over the place. She's wanted to try every sport, everything. I mean, she has ADHD and that is diagnosed. So it makes sense now. But now I'm like, I had to channel her into one thing and let her see it through. And that I feel like that's my role right now with her. But yeah, it's just fun. It's so cool to be a mom. Like that's my favorite. Like just watching them thrive into their own person is so fun. So
It's so fun. It's so fun. I
yeah.
feel like the only way I can, like, ever explain, like, motherhood, because I started so early, so my friends are like, "What is it like? What is it gonna be like?" The only way I could ever explain it is, like, you will be in this stage and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Like, no way could it, like, ever get better. Like, this is no way." And then you get to the next stage and you're like, "Holy shit, this is so much fun. Like, no way could it ever get better." And it just keeps on doing that. And it keeps on doing that. And it keeps on doing that. And the teen years, I mean, my daughter's already a junior. She'll be a senior next year.
Oh,
It
oh.
is a blast. The teen years give you back like so much funness and just like relationship and I don't know, humor. Oh, it's a great time. It is a great time.
Love that you say that because a lot of people, they'll tell you, like, you know, if my daughter's, like, having a tantrum, they're like, "Well, wait till she's a teenager," and I'm like, I honestly I hope that all of this doesn't carry over, like, she's gonna be an amazing teenager.
Well, She
You know?
will be. She will be. Now, like literally all of us have our day. I still have my days as an adult. Like you can say that. You can literally say that about me. Well, wait till
Yeah.
Jacqueline's, 38 years old. Like, like you can literally still say that about me. I'm gonna have my days. No, do not believe it. It is so much fun. It is so much fun. The high school, like going to all the high school things for them. I mean, my daughter, I have a daughter, so like the school dances and the friendships and the getting ready. I mean, it is just like girlhood all over again. I love it. I love it. We love
I
it.
love that so much. I'm excited. We'll have to dive into some questions about the teenage years because obviously that's a little bit foreign to us. We're still
Mhm.
kind of in the younger stages of raising children, but I know we have a ton of listeners that do have teenagers, and so it's going to be probably refreshing for them to hear your perspective on it too. But yeah, let's go ahead and roll into your bio, Jacqueline. And then we'll have Olivia just lead into their questions because we got a ton to work through. So
Do it.
at just 19, Jacqueline became a single mom to her daughter Presley and spent years rebuilding her life from the ground up, balancing work, school, and the realities of young motherhood. What started as a simple charity 5K for St. Jude turned into a life-changing journey through running. 11 years later, she's completed all 6 World Marathon
Wow.
majors. What? So
That's
badass.
incredible.
And raised over $300,000 for St. Jude, you guys. Like, talk about a freaking badass mom. Through her story, she proves that motherhood doesn't limit dreams, it just ignites them.
Wow.
Like,
That's a very powerful bio. That's
mic
incredible.
drop.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I mean, I just feel like there's so much that we can talk about that like there's just so many different layers to the story, but let's just start from the beginning, I guess. So, can you just take us back? So, you became a mom at 19, like you said, you started young. So, can you just talk about what the early years looked like for you emotionally, mentally, like as a young mom?
Yeah, yeah. It's my entire world like changed overnight. I mean, I was in college. I had a college, uh softball scholarship. I felt like I was on top of the world. I had the best friends. I had the best boyfriend. He was a D1 baseball player. Like I was like living it up. We were having a great time. And then everything changed. I can still like this is a crazy story. I can still remember like every detail of like when I found out I was pregnant. Like I remember I was getting ready with my girlfriends. We were actually getting ready to go to a party, a college party, as you do, right? The basketball boys were hosting it, so we're getting ready to go to this party, and all of us were like. I don't know how we got on topic. We're like, let's go to Taco Bell. We all went to Taco Bell before the party because that's also what we do. And we're having these conversations. And I was just talking about like how I was feeling that week or whatever. And just offhand, one of my girlfriends were like, it sounds like you're pregnant. Do you think you're pregnant? And I'm
Whoa.
like, wait, what? No, I don't think I'm pregnant. They're like, wouldn't it be funny though if we just went to Walmart real quick and we all took a pregnancy test? We're 19. We're like being
God.
silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we went to Walmart. We got these pregnancy tests. We went to the Walmart bathroom stall. I'm so embarrassed. Swear to God, I found out I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant in a Walmart bathroom stall.
Wow.
And then my friends went to the party. My friends went to the party, and I had to call my boyfriend, who had already moved 3 hours away because he was a D1 baseball player, to let him know that I was pregnant. And my world was changed. My world was changed. Everything of like who I was and all of my goals, my aspirations, what I saw for my life, they completely changed overnight. And I felt alone and isolated, and I just had to figure it out like step by step. And it was incredibly hard. I had my scholarship, it was taken away. And that's what was paying for my school. So that put me in an even harder position. And I, our cup, like those first 5 years, I honestly couldn't see past anything than motherhood, which that's for everybody probably in those first 5 years, right? But I was really trying to get us out of the spot that we were in as well. As a young mom, I took advantage of everything. I had no shame. I had no ego. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
going to put everything aside and I'm going to take advantage of everything that I can so I can keep going to school, so I can try to work, so I can eventually get myself and my daughter to a position where like we can enjoy this world and this life that we're living. And so I did. I took advantage of Medicaid, or no way would I have been able to pay for any of
Yeah.
my bills or even having my daughter. I took advantage of food stamps. I took advantage of daycare programs, which was so helpful. Without them paying for my daycare programs, no way could I have gone to school or gone to work, or it even makes sense for me to do that. It would have all been going to daycare and I would have been stuck in that spot. I was also lucky enough to get into, sorry, I got a call, subsidized housing. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I have a cough. Hold on
You're
one
good.
second.
Okay.
You're
Yeah.
totally good.
It's crazy, like we hear the word take advantage, and I just like I want to critique that word so bad because I'm like, we pay into that for a reason. Like we all contribute to that if we make paychecks into that social security and all that stuff for a reason as a country. And it's like, I've been there, we've been there. And my husband hates that I talk about it because he's like, don't let everybody know how poor you were when we were first married. I was like,
Mm.
but that's the truth. Like it, when you struggle, you struggle. And it's like, I hate that people see like those benefits as like you're getting a hand up or you're getting a hand out. It's like it should be a hand up, not a handout. Like that's my perspective. That's the whole point, and you're living proof that you turned it into that eventually. But anyways, I'll let you continue on.
No, you're right. There is so much shame around it.
Yeah.
When I was in it, I hid it. I hid it from all of my friends, from probably most of my family. Like I did not want to talk about it. I felt so much shame on the outside to people, but honestly, inside to me and my daughter, I was so proud that I was taking the steps that I needed to take for me and her. When I got into subsidized housing, which they look at your income and then that's how they charge you the rent. I was so poor. They were basically paying me, I think it was like $25 a month. I'm there to live there. Like they're like, you don't have anything. Like, oh, we'll pay you, girl. But I mean that all of that combined literally set us up and changed everything for us, where I was able to finish school. I was able to work multiple jobs for us, and I was able to save and be able to, figure out how much I needed to make to get us off of that. That was my first step. That was like my first step. That was like my goal of like, hey, how do I get us off all of these programs? Like, how much do I need to make? Like, what is possible for me? So it was, my world changed overnight. And then I was just there figuring it out every step just by myself. And it was scary. It was terrifying. And I will always just be so proud of that version of myself and that girl. But I completely get it. There's so much shame around it and people don't like to talk about it. I didn't talk about it then when I was in it, and now I'm so proud to talk about it now. Now that I'm out of it. So I know it's so hard to say to somebody who's in it that they should be proud of it, they should be boasting of it, and like good for them for doing it. I know that's so hard to hear, but I know one day they will look at it and they will be proud of themselves, that they took advantage of everything that they could to be able to provide for their children, for themselves, to get out of the position that they're in.
I love that. I think a lot of times we don't know how much people are struggling, especially in like our community. And I think there's a ton of communities like this. We live in a world where we're trying to put the best out there all the time.
Well, don't feel shameful for using food stamps. Like, be proud of
Yeah.
yourself. Be proud of yourself that you figured out like what you needed to do. One, figuring out how to get on food stamps is a beast alone, especially in
Absolutely.
2009 when like I just had Google, and it's a beast to keep up with. And it's not easy. So it's something to be proud of. Fine, let it define me. I'm so proud of myself for figuring it out and using all of them to get where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of want to dive into that a little bit more with when you lost your scholarship for
Mhm.
softball and like that shift of identity and purpose and who you are and finding out that you're pregnant. Like, what did those months during your pregnancy look like? Did you have any sort of like support or people like advocating for you or people like guiding you? Like, mentors, like, I'm curious if you were just like a lone wolf, like almost like in this process, and you like truly just had to like figure it all out, or if you had anybody like by your side to like help support you through that. Because I think like this is a very important topic, especially when we're talking about single moms and being mindful that if we do have friends or know anybody within our family or in our community that it's going through that, that like, okay, well, how can we make them not experience the negative side of it? Like, how can we make it most positive for them as possible, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think that's, like I talk so much about it now because and I wish in 2009 when I did get pregnant, I wish I would have had the internet to be able to find women that were like me that shared the same stories because 19 in a college, I was the lone wolf. Like I
Absolutely.
didn't feel isolated. I was just watching my friends do everything that a 19, a 20, a 21-year-old should be doing and my life did not look the same. So that was incredibly hard, incredibly isolating. And I think one of the things that for sure pushed me to share so much today is the few women that did share with me or what I found online meant so much to me and made me feel so seen and helped me figure out what to do. I'm like, if I could ever be that for somebody else, then I'm going to be. I'm going to be. But the losing my college scholarship for softball, I didn't I didn't really lose my identity in that. Honestly, that was so much of how I was paying for college. So it's not like softball wasn't like this huge identity for me. Yes, I lost like a lot of my friends, but crazy story is I got pregnant I hid it for a little bit, like that first semester, so I could keep my softball scholarship. Then I lost it the next one. And when I had my daughter in May. We went into labor during one of my finals. Had my daughter. I know. I know. I'm like literally had to raise my hand and be like, I think I'm gonna have to leave. I will say that like he was amazing. Like he had been through like my teacher he'd been
Yeah.
with me through my whole pregnancy and everything. So like he didn't, embarrass me or whatever. But after I had my daughter hospital on a Friday, I had to go back to college and finish taking that test. So I would be able to pass that class. But that summer, I went to work, I took care of my daughter, and then I worked my butt off to get my scholarship back. Because I was like, you're so naive. And I'm like, I can do it all. I can figure this out. I got my softball scholarship back and I tried to play for one more semester and it was impossible. It was impossible to do it. So I ended up like giving up. That's when I gave up the scholarship, but I wanted it because it was paying for my school. I didn't want to be in a worse spot. So I was like, I've got to figure it out. Like, I don't care if like, I'm losing these friendships through it. It's like, this was going to make sure I wasn't going to be in more debt than I'm already going to be in the situation that I'm in. So I wasn't able to keep it. But that's where, like, for me, it just hurt because I lost a ton of money there. And then I had to, of course, take out student loans, which put me in an even worse position.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm I can't believe that you went back and got it again though. I'm like, "Wait a second."
Did.
Like,
And
wow.
they were really nice. They ended up paying for like my books like the rest of the time that like I
Oh,
was there and I finished school. And that was like very sweet of them.
That's crazy.
It was. It was.
I can't believe you finished your final. Like, I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I went back
especially,
Friday. I literally like we drove from the hospital straight back to college. I took it in the office and then I went home.
that's
wow.
insane.
That is
Like,
insane.
I
Yeah.
know,
you're
I know, it was
unstoppable.
crazy. But like I honestly like I was just so naive of like this is what I have to do. This is what I have to do.
Like, go
Yeah.
ahead.
I don't know if I'd call it naive or if I would call it that like the mother instinct in you that's like, I have to make this work for my kid.
I like that better.
Your vision was so future focused, which is, it speaks of your maturity level at 19 because my gosh, I think about what I was doing at 19 and I'm like,
Yeah.
I was not there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have been able to go back and take my final. I probably would just be like, flunk the class. Like, I don't, but I just think your maturity level was already so high. And then when that kid came into your life, it was just like everything I gotta do is like tunnel vision. Like it's like when you're in a training block for a marathon or a goal, right? Like your focus is that, like
Yep.
that next 6 months, I am working towards that. Nobody's gonna stop me. I'm vision focused, and
Yes.
you can see that in your story, like the fact that you did after birth go take the rest of your final, turned it in, and moved forward, and even went back and got your scholarship back. Like
Mhm.
I can't imagine how much hard work that probably took, especially postpartum, which we'll talk about your
Mhm.
postpartum journey. And it's, yeah, like you were very mature and vision focused with your future. And I think that just speaks volumes of your character because you raised $300,000 too on top of that. Like, I'm sorry, you just are goals in
Yeah.
every way.
No, I relate to that so much. And I say that so often in like motherhood. And I was so single focused and getting my daughter out of the position that we were in that I knew it was going to happen. Like nobody was going to tell me otherwise. This was it. I had already decided it was going to happen. And I have never ever felt that way until the moment I decided I was going to run the majors. And then that it clicked on for me again that I am so single mindedly focused on this. Nobody can tell me otherwise. I know this is going to happen in my life for me. And I don't know if I'll ever get that feeling again. Like, it's funny that you say, like, what did it feel like to lose my identity in softball back there? And I didn't feel like I lost my identity with softball, but right now where I'm at today, I do feel like I've lost some of my identity because I am done with the world majors and it has
Yeah.
taken over like so much of my life and I'm very much struggling right now. Like I was just trying to create like my vision board the other day and I'm like, no, I'm tired. And I don't know if I'll ever get that feeling back again that I had in motherhood, that early motherhood of like, this is my sole focus. And I know I'm bound and determined and this is what is going to happen for us. And also with the world majors, I know I'm going to do this.
Hmm. I think it will. Everything is about timing.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe right now is like the time that you're focusing on your daughter or something like that, and
Mhm.
then something big will happen with her, and then it'll click for you again. I always have that feeling where it's like, oh, you're just not at that point yet because the timing
Mhm.
just isn't right.
Yeah.
But there's something about you that is like inherently gritty. So there's just were you always like that even with softball? Like were you I'm going to get this college scholarship because to get an athletic scholarship is a big deal and that you didn't feel a loss of identity when you lost it or anything like that? Like do you think that you were always like that or do you think that that happened when you became a mom?
I do think so how I got the softball scholarship, I didn't grow up with like I didn't grow up with a ton of money. And there were six of us and my parents didn't go to college. So it wasn't in their like repertoire of like what we were going to do, honestly. It's like you guys can, we'll take you through high school and then you can figure it out. They didn't know. You know what? If I called my mom right now, she probably has no idea that I even took the ACT back then.
Wow. That's
She
wild.
And so I was calling schools to see if I could come try out for their softball teams so I could get a scholarship so I could go to school because I didn't even know that like you could get loans for school back then. I had no idea. All I knew is that like I wanted to go to school. I'm trying to figure out how to, and I was good at softball. And so I started calling, it was a community college. I started calling community colleges. I found out that's what was easier to do. And I would drive myself and I would go try out for softball. Like, I swear to God.
You know, I relate so hard to that because I kind of grew up very similar. I grew up in a family of 8 and I'm 6 of 8. And I feel like when you're in a big family like that, you kind of grow up with this mindset of like survival. Like
Yeah.
your parents are doing the best that they can on the knowledge that they were given and what they can do.
Yep.
But there's also a sense of like there's only a level that they can take you to, which is the level that they
Yeah.
know, right?
Yeah.
And so I think about so much too when, I left high school, I graduated and I was looking out for opportunities for college running and I went back to college when I was pregnant with my kids, but I think about those times and I'm like, wow, like I had to figure that out by myself in so
Mhm.
many ways because my mom never went through college. And it just speaks volumes about who you are, that you're a problem solver. Like if you have a problem, you're going to find the solution for it. And I think not a lot of people are like that naturally. I think a lot of people are, and I mean this kindly, but like a victim to their situation. Whereas I feel like you are quick to turn the victimhood into like an opportunity to learn
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
grow and challenge it because you're
Yeah.
not okay with the barrier.
No.
I mean, you finished those marathons in 11 years. That's a long time to commit to a goal, right? Like you were at this goal for a while and you raised so much money for it. And I think it just shows that, like, when you see something, you're not going to stop until you obtain it.
Mhm.
Wow, yeah, that's exactly how I would describe it. I'm just, like, in awe, like, of every single little bit and piece that you've given us of your story. It's like this thing where you're like, and then I figured it out, and then there was a hurdle, and then I just figured it out, which is
Google. Google.
yeah. I mean, it's like yes and no, right? I think
How do I do that? How do I get on food stamps? It's like, okay, first step. Like I'm good with starting. I'm good with the first step. Like we can
yeah,
create a
yeah,
checklist. I've also got ADHD. Like you give me a checklist, like it's my best friend.
oh
Yes.
my gosh, yeah. That is so wild. So, okay, so you signed up for that first 5K.
Yeah.
What made you do that, and when was that?
That was 2015? 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
11 years, 11 years. So
Okay.
it was way that I got into the 5K was it happened very naturally, but like in a kind of a crazy way where uh, Presley and I were finally getting into a better spot. And I had been in my career that I am today for a couple years. And I was doing so well. And there were so many moments when Presley and I were in a bad spot that I would beg to the world that if like you could help me get out of this spot, I promise like I will pay you back one day. Like I will do good. Like I will figure something out. Just like help us, help me keep going. And I had so many of those moments, but it kind of like always stuck with me that eventually when I got into a spot, I wanted to figure out a way. I had no idea what that way was going to be, but I wanted to help other people or I wanted to get back or I wanted to get involved. And this time we were at a Christmas party actually for the company that I work for. And at our Christmas party, they invite people to speak that we have a foundation. We help people throughout the year. And usually at the Christmas party to pull some tears out of us, they have one of those families come and speak. And this family was speaking. They have a beautiful daughter, Lizzie. John, the dad, was speaking. They've got this beautiful daughter, Lizzie. She's 1 year older than my daughter. She's got blonde hair, blue eyes, looks like my daughter. They're telling us the story and thanking us for our donation that we gave to their family because she's currently battling cancer and she's a patient at St. Jude. And for some reason, that held on to me. Like that story just was like, I didn't know too much about St. Jude. And I was like, I wonder how I get involved. And I knew my company had obviously already donated to them. So I wonder who I can connect with. And so they connected me with a girlfriend at work. Her name is Liz, the one who ended up running all the world majors with. They ended up connecting me with Liz and we became friends. And she was like, you can run for St. Jude if you're ever interested in that. I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, you could do a 5K and you can raise like $100. So me and my girlfriends, there's five of us, we committed to doing this 5K. We went to Memphis. We booked an Airbnb. We had an absolute blast. We all raised $100. I doubt we barely even ran a mile of that 5K. We just walked and talked. I think we took shots on the course at one time. Like we did. We had an absolute blast. And that's literally how it all started. That is how it all started. It
That
went
is
from a 5K to a 10K to a half marathon to eventually them seeing if I would interview to run London, one of the first world major. And so I was able to interview and I got into London. So that's how it all unfolded.
crazy. What was the timeline between when you ran your first 5K and when you ran your first marathon? I'm so curious, like, what that looked like.
So the 5K, that's the 11 years. So that's the
Okay.
11 years. So
Okay,
the
got it.
5K was the 11 years. And then London was 11. So that would be, that was 4 years later, I ran London. So I actually ran London, all of the six world majors in 7 years. I started
Wow.
running 11 years ago, but I ran all the majors in 7 years.
That's like a
Wow.
marathon a year pretty much if you add it. Like, that's
It was.
incredible.
Yeah, yeah,
Incredible.
it's
Wow.
amazing.
Was there ever a point, like, when you ran that first 5K, like, leading up to the 5K, did you ever have any interest in running, or was that, like was it the why behind you were doing the 5K, which was to raise that money? Was that more of your drive? And then I'm curious to hear, like, what, like, finally sparked up in your mind that you were like, "I'm gonna do 26.2 miles," which is, like, multiple 5Ks.
Yeah, yeah. The first 5K that we trained for, I will say I was older, I was 25, so I was able to recognize when I was training for it, like what the running was getting back to me, which I had never noticed before, like in softball or anything like that. I never noticed that like, hey, it was like helping me build confidence or helping keep my day calm. I was able to notice bits and pieces of that 5K, but it was very much like we're training for this, we're having fun with this with just like me and my besties. I had no idea it was going to be another year or I was going to be interested in doing a 10K or a half marathon after that. I had no idea. I had no idea. But I did. I started to notice there's flickers in there of like, after I got done with this run, I'm like, damn, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Like I might like this running just enough to like keep doing it. And then it just like, honestly, it happened naturally for me, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, what was the second question?
Just like like, at what point where you were like, "Alright, I'm gonna go for 26.2 miles,"
Oh,
like, I'm gonna
that,
quadruple whatever it is. It's like
yeah.
4 is it 5 Ks? I can't even remember.
Yeah, yeah. That I will gladly blame my best friend Liz on. It's because I wanted to be her best friend, and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna run this marathon." I'm like, "Well, you know what? I probably should too."
You know, I would do the same thing to just keep training with Olivia, so I'm like,
Yeah,
"She's gonna run 4 marathons a year, okay, I guess I'm gonna run 1 with her."
yep. Yeah, yeah. So Liz had already started her 6 star journey. She had done Chicago before her and I started doing London together. But it was after it was like 4 years in to me doing more 5Ks and half marathons. And I started to notice that I was pretty good at raising money. My friends and I, we created an event and it was able to pull in a lot of funds and I was able to learn so much more about St. Jude and I made so many friends with St. Jude that I was like, I want to go bigger. I want to go bigger. I want to see what else I can do. And then that's when they started introducing me into like the majors and what other marathons that I can get. So I didn't know what the majors were. London was just like, this is the first one that we can look at of getting you an interview for a bit.
Wow.
So
Mhm.
cool.
That's incredible. I think the, raising money part is what people are so afraid of with the charity bibs, like, going about that, but, honestly, I feel like it's a testament to who you are that you're like, "I can do that."
Do it.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
there,
I
and
think
I
it's
get that, but if you
yeah.
look online for any of the world majors, I mean, they have such different minimums for each one. So, like I said, my first one, I only had to raise $100. Of course, the majors they are a little bit more, but like Chicago and New York, those tend to be the ones that have the most bibs for charity runners. You can find some pretty low minimums that you can do.
Mhm. It's probably good to if you're nervous about it, to start with one that's lower and then work
Yeah,
your way into it and be like, "Oh, that wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be." So,
absolutely.
that is so incredible. Oh my gosh. Did your daughter travel with you to all of your world majors, or did she stay home for some of them?
She went. I think the
That's
only
so
one she
cool.
did not go to was London, was
Okay.
the London one. She didn't go to the London one, but all the other ones, after I ran London, I was like, there's no way. Like we have to take her to every single one. And we did. Liz and I both did. Liz ended up having a son in between, like starting her world major journey. She had her son. Max is 6 now, and he ended up going to all of them with us as well. So it was a family affair.
That's
That
so
is
cool.
incredible.
Mhm.
Wow.
I bet she, like she probably I mean, I think Olivia, I think about your son who just
Mhm.
loves being in a hotel, loves the experience of, like
Yeah.
of the journey of your marathon. And, I think about you, Jacqueline, with your daughter, like, she may not love running, but, like, that your running brought that connection with her, like, on a different side of your guys' relationship. It brought you opportunity to travel together,
Yeah,
which just
absolutely.
amazing places, which is so cool that, like,
Yes.
you were tackling such a hard goal that was so outside of you. It was for something so much bigger beyond you. But that, like, it also, like, in return, blessed you and your daughter's relationship with all these beautiful memories over the last 7 years of running these marathons.
Running has given me so much. Running, and that's why I'm like, I'm going to share as much as I can. I'm going to give back as much as I can because I feel like the running and the running world deserves it because running opened up so much for me, so much for me. And there's not a single vacation that we have done where I am packing up myself and my daughter and I don't have a moment of like, holy shit, like I never thought that we were going to be going to Berlin together. I never thought that we were going to be going to Tokyo together. Like people put such limitations on us because I was a young mom that this was not possible. And it feels very powerful to be able to do that like with her and take her with me. Truly.
That's
That's
so
incredible. Yeah, I think there is definitely I don't know if it's even like a stigma or like what it would be that where if you are a single mom that your life is just so limited and I think that people expect it to just be the grind and suffering essentially and that it's incredible to have your story out there and for you to talk about it and that this is also maybe the narrative for a lot of other moms that don't share their story but that it is not just suffering and that there's life to be lived and enjoyment that comes out of it. Do you feel like running and motherhood has been blended together pretty well for you, or was there a struggle trying to figure out how to fit in running with being a single mom?
When I got into running is when I met my partner today, my now husband. We got married last year. And so he was very much like very supportive of it and loved it. So that helped me so much. But I mean, working out and taking care of myself when it was just me and PJ, yeah, it was hopefully like finding a gym that was cheap enough and
Yeah.
I would be able to, set her at that daycare, which is very rare. So it was just a lot in, a stroller that I got at a garage sale and, or the playground. There wasn't much else. But something that you said, Olivia, and I could not agree more because I don't even think it's about like single mothers. Motherhood in general. I feel like motherhood, like that word should be one of the most powerful words. And for some reason, somebody hears motherhood and they immediately start to place limits on us. And
Mhm.
I don't know where that comes from. It's some okay, you guys have seen those reels. Have you seen those reels where somebody's like, if you've run a marathon, like when you go into a job interview, you should be able to say that like you ran a marathon because then they're going to know how much of a badass you are. You
Yeah.
should be able to say that you are a mother, that you are in motherhood because I'm sorry, like marathons will never touch how hard or how challenging or how much you like get from motherhood. And I agree with you. I do not love the limits that they place on us every single time they hear the word motherhood. It should be like they hear that word and be like, she's a baddie. Like,
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I love that, and it's so crazy because you're right, like, it is motherhood specifically, and it's like, no matter how much social media is, like, trying to change the narrative on it, it's still actively out there, like, the first thing that when someone's like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah is having their first baby or having their 7th baby," and they're like, "Well, I guess we won't see them for a long time." And you're like, "Wait, what?" Like, I'm gonna see them way more now. Now this person has a baby, now it won't be like, "Hey, I'm going with all my mom friends," It's like, "Now you're one
Mhm.
of us. Come on, let's go."
Yeah.
It's crazy because it's like there's still, like, just inklings of negativity, and, I mean, Shanna, I'm sure you experienced this recently with, like, announcing your 7th baby. It's like,
Yeah.
"Well, gotta kiss all those dreams goodbye then."
You're
Like,
yeah.
you already had
There's no way
6.
you can do anything ever again. You
Yeah.
just being a mom. And you know what? Also, like, screw people for thinking that that I don't want to just be a mom. I chose motherhood. I
Exactly.
want to be a mom. I want to be in the middle of it. I want the messiness of it. This is my dream as well. People are like, your dreams are going to go to the wayside. being a mom is a dream. What do you
Exactly.
That is a dream. I'm living my dream. How dare you say that like I'm, everything else. I'm not going to get any dreams in life. I got the number one dream that I wanted.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's so true.
I'm so glad you say that because right before I got pregnant with my seventh kid, I was like battling this decision of getting pregnant again because, the OTQ window opened up and that's been a dream of mine since I was a little
Mhm.
kid. And I remember just being on this run and having this thought like, what if this is your path to your dream? Motherhood. Like, what if these children, and I'm gonna get emotional because you just hit it so hard on the head, like what if motherhood is your path to your dream and they're just showing you how to get there? And I remember just feeling that so deep to my core, like they are. Like there's something about motherhood that just like turns on. I don't know if it's just like that survival grind where you're like, I gotta give them better than what I've ever had. Even if they
Yeah.
grew up with a beautiful, fulfilling life with everything you've ever wanted, you still want more for your kid. You want your kid to have the best success possible in life, and you will do anything you possibly can, any good parent would, to give them the best success possible so that they can be better for their kids. I don't know, I love that because I know that you shared that you said, a lot of people would tell you that it would ruin your life. Was there ever, like, a point, like, where running kind of just, like, helped rewrite that narrative for you that showed you, or was it well before you even started the world major process of, like, the, fundraising and things like that? What, like, finally was like, "No, I'm going to take motherhood and I'm going to define it. I'm not gonna listen to these naysayers that are all surrounding me that really truly are not rooting for me. They are waiting for me to fall and fail." When did that, like, narrative in your head shift that you were like, "No, it's gonna define me for the better"?
Mhm. I knew that motherhood wasn't ruining my life because I knew what my life looked like and I knew how my life, but people can't see that on the outside. And so it's when I was doing when I was running and I was doing the world majors and I was accomplishing these marathons one after one and I, in one of the 10,000 women in the world who was able to even do these world majors, 20,000 people in the world, that's including men and women. So then I was able to show them on the outside proof of like, no, it does not ruin my life. I just did one of the hardest things possible. I don't even know what percent of people this is. 20,000 people in the world. Hardest things possible. Traveling to all of these places. And you're like, it didn't ruin my life. I knew it didn't might ruin my life, but being able to do that and show that was just kind of like two middle fingers of like, no, I can do the hardest thing. I can do the hardest thing in the world and still being a mom and bringing my kids along with me and making sure that my daughter sees like you're going after it. Whatever you want in life, baby girl, you are going after it because she watched me go after it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best thing that I can give her.
I could not agree more. I mean, like I've said so many times, there's obviously something in you that is just you're just gonna keep going no matter what, and it's gonna get passed down to your daughter. This is what she has seen and what she's experienced, and so it's such an incredible thing because there's no good way to teach it other than to just do it. I'm super curious, are you friends with anybody that you were friends with in college still, and have you ever, like, reflected on that time with them?
So cool.
Yes. Yeah, I have there's two girls, with Aunt Amelia and Aunt Rachel that basically helped me raise my daughter like in those like first 5 years. And my girlfriend Amelia, she's moved away now to Arkansas and started her beautiful life. She's got three beautiful boys, so she's in the trenches right now. We keep up all the time. I was texting Rachel right now. I mean, they're my riders, like for sure. I mean, they have been through every season with me. I spend Thanksgiving with Rachel every single year. I mean, we're just all so proud of each other. Presley grew up with them, so they will always be in her lives. But I mean, I'm just so grateful that I had at least like two very steadfast friends because I just watched everybody else just live
Mhm.
their life. And you
Yeah.
can't ask somebody at 19, somebody at 20 of like, hey, Friday night and Saturday night, do you want to like hang out at home with me and my newborn and, maybe go to bed at 8 o'clock. I will say at like an older year, as I was getting older, I experienced so much hard and fast FOMO in that first year. I've never had it since. Like I've
Yeah, I bet.
everybody can do everything with everybody. I love watching it. I love seeing it. I love cheering it on. I don't get FOMO. Like it's so
Yeah,
we can think that. But yeah, I do. I have two really good friends from back there that were just like with me through it all that I keep very close to this day.
so incredible. Community really is everything.
Yeah. It makes me happy to hear that there's like a strong womanhood in your life too. Like
Mhm.
there is something about like us as females, we need other females in our lives. Like we just it's different. It's a different relationship and I notice like those that lack that like opportunity to have those good strong bonds with other females like they typically are lacking something fulfilling in their life too, internally. And I'm just so glad that you had those ride or die friends to just, like, give you that sense of, like, womanhood, friendship fulfillment that you really needed in such a hard, hard stage in your life and that you weren't just, like, left stranded by yourself because and I know you went through a lot, you had to figure out a lot by
Mhm.
yourself, but I'm just so glad that there was some really good few relationships that
Oh,
stuck
yeah.
by your side.
Yeah. Relationships were everything to me back then and still are today. When Presley and I, when we moved away from where we moved to Columbia and when I started my career, that's where I met my husband. And it's also where I met my best friends. And while we were still young, everybody was still 25. I had a 5-year-old. Everybody, they were just so obsessed with Presley. They were so obsessed with Presley. They were so inviting of Presley. I am so thankful and so grateful for literally the best friendships to this day. She has had so many aunts and uncles and people that love her. It really is like everybody loves her. Everybody loves her. And everybody, always wanted to help raise her, help be a part of it. You know what I mean? So I did feel lucky in that. There were so many moments of isolation, but I truly did eventually like find my people and my person. And it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun.
That's
That's
so cool.
amazing. I love that. I think a lot of people's natural reaction could be also to tuck away.
Friends, if you are out there and you do not have kids and you've got friends that have kids, like I was so lucky because my friends were like, if they're like, hey, let's go out to eat on Saturday night, they're like, Jacqueline, make sure Presley's coming, right? Like they would
Yeah.
be offended if Presley
Yeah,
wasn't. They like Presley more than like they like me, okay? She's grown up to be a very fun girl. Like if we're doing something this weekend, if Presley's not coming, my friends are pissed, okay? At this
oh my
point.
gosh.
And so they were
Yeah.
just so inviting and so inclusive of her, and that just meant everything. That just changed the game for me because then I got to start being included.
Yeah. I mean, I think that speaks volumes even for moms that are going through postpartum. Like, when somebody gets pregnant and like say your friends are not in that stage of pregnancy, it's very easy and natural to kind of like separate from each other
Yeah.
because you're in different seasons of life. And then your friend is going through that postpartum. I think it's so important to be like, hey, bring the baby along to the girls' night out it's okay. Breastfeed. I don't care. Like, we're all moms, like just because we don't have young babies right now and ours are a little bit older or we're taking a break or we're in between pregnancies, like I think it's so important to reach out to those moms that are in those phases because they do often get kind of secluded, and it's not I don't feel like it's always purposeful. I think sometimes it's just the way of natural of life, right? If you're in the grind for like a training block and you're going for an A goal and your friend is pregnant or postpartum, they're not going for any run goals. And so it's natural to just kind of separate. But it makes me think about my friends now, like you saying that, like, what am I doing to make sure that they are feeling included and they are feeling supported? And like they aren't a burden, their child isn't a burden, their season isn't a burden. Like it's all beautiful. And like how do we bring them into our lives, even though we're in different seasons?
When you have friendship and when you have motherhood, I think in a friendship, beyond like besides loving me, the best thing that you can do in our friendship is love my child. That's what if you love my child more, like dote on my child, want to hang out with my child, like that. I love that more than you loving me. And I think that's every mom. Are you kidding? If I'm around my friends and they're like, talking to Presley, I'm just like watching in awe. my God. Or like, when I get to like hang out with my friends' babies now, because now they all have like littles under 5, and I get to hang out with them, I get to like finally do that for them now too. And
Yeah.
I freaking love it. I love it.
Yeah, especially when you're not in the survival mode of, like, raising that little kid yourself.
Yeah.
Now you're kind of on the other side, so you get to, like, soak in their baby
Oh my
more, you
God. It's
know?
so much fun. Yes. Yep.
Oh, that's so cute. Well, I kinda wanna go into, like, you raised over that $300,000 for St. Jude, which is absolutely just insane. Like, that is huge.
Yeah.
What, like, drove you to keep, like, giving back to the running community? I know you talked about, like, you went through your rough patch and you're like, "I if the world, the universe, whatever is out there continues to please help me can make it through this, I will give back." But what kept you going? Because I think it's often very easy when you're out of that hard grind or you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel to kind of forget your promise. Like, I know me personally, like our family, we had the same situation. I was like, I will donate 10% of our paychecks to anything I need to if we're not on food stamps or SNAP benefits anymore. Like I remember just pleading that to God so many times that like we are working our ass off, we are dual income and we're still not making it, but please. Like, and we have kept our promise on that. And I think it is very easy though when you're on the other side to kind of forget. But you didn't. You kept with it and you kept with it for 7 years. I mean, actually 11, because it started with
Mhm.
11 years.
Yeah.
11 years to donate that $300,000. So what kept your vision there? What kept you committed and promised to what you told yourself you would do?
With St. Jude, the girls that I ran with, it all happened in pieces. It all happened in pieces. I can't say like this was my vision. This was like, this, and that's exactly how it was the entire time. It happened in pieces. And the girls that I ran that first 5K with, and I went to St. Jude with, are the same girls that I talked about that I became best friends with at 25. And we did that and we loved that. And something that our friend group was doing is we created what's called the croquet cup. We did it okay, it's so silly, but we did it one summer. It was like one summer, we were all 25 and we were like, this summer, like, we just want a day where like we're outside, but like we're doing something like different that we don't usually do. And somebody was like, why don't we like go get outfits from Goodwill and we play croquet together. And we're like, yes, let's do that. And so we like created this whole like croquet game in somebody's backyard, and we played croquet for the whole day, got drunk, had an absolute blast. We loved it. And then the next year, we noticed that everybody's like a little bit busier and harder to get together, right? Like now we're turning 26, 27, 28. And we decided that like, hey, why don't we come back to this croquet day? Let's come back to this croquet day and like let's put it on again. And like we can always just no matter what, we'll plan this croquet together and we'll make sure that like we'll all get together. Well, that croquet event turned into like what raises us $50,000 in a day every
Wow.
single year for like the last like 10 years. Yeah. And we decided we're like, okay, instead of a backyard, let's see if a golf course around town would like let us play at it. And one of them did. One of them did. And then we started hosting that. So it just kind of like snowballed for us. And we had started this St. Jude journey. And so when I say that like I've raised over, 350, 400,000 now, I had such a great group of friendship that we were building this together. And so the croquet tournament and day just kind of became this thing that we were going to always use as a way to come back to each other with our friendships. And which is so nice because now we're 37. Everybody has kids. Everybody's so busy. Nobody ever gets together anymore, but we've got croquet. So we come back together like that day. We get to enjoy ourselves. We get to be so grateful for what we have. And then we've turned it into a way to give back. And it's the last 4 years in a row have all been over $50,000 in one day.
That's
Oh my
crazy.
Crazy.
wow.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So that's like it didn't like start this way. Like it really did like evolve and everything. And you just kept I just kept following it. I just kept following the path. Like, you know, and and just believe that somehow it kept on working out. And I do think that like me raising the money that I was able to do is, you know, probably why St. Jude was like, hey, you can start interviewing for some of these bigger bibs, because you've got to raise 10, 15, $20,000 for some of these bibs. It's hard, and they take it very seriously. You've got to write in for it. You have to do interviews for it. You have to send them an entire game plan of how you're going to raise the money. They take it very seriously because, you know, St. Jude and what they do is it's serious.
Yeah.
So it was a snowball effect. This did not happen overnight. Me getting pregnant, that, you know, changing about that happened overnight. This is just, yes. This is a
Oh my
snowball.
gosh.
Oh, that
I
is incredible.
Yeah, I think it's just so amazing. Like you saw it through, and it's so cool that you show that it's like a ripple effect.
It
I
was.
do want to highlight on the fact that I think there is a lot of stigma on charity bibs,
Mhm.
and it drives me insane because I am sorry, it is so much easier to roll into a race and qualify for it and go run it and just worry about yourself than it is to raise 10, 15 plus $1,000, $3,000, even $3,000. I had a friend that just ran New York. That was her first marathon and she did a $3,500 raise for it. And I watched her raise the money. I watched her work hard to do the side gigs and things like that to raise it and while we supported it. And it's so inspiring to me that you chose to do it that route because it is such a selfless thing to do. You made your running not about you. You made your running about so much more, so much bigger things in this world.
Yep, yep. I wanted to, in my mind, the hardest route for running all the world majors is running with charity. Because like the
Yes.
amount of pressure and like it's a part-time job to raise those kind of funds. So it's even more added stress than a 16-week or a 20-week plan that we are also doing. And sometimes you get the stigma as a charity runner is that you didn't train at all. Like you're just showing up and running a marathon. Who the hell can show up and run a marathon? Like I no, I can't. I'm also doing all of the training right along there with you and raising $15,000 for that race alone. And so when I ran my first one with St. Jude, that was it. That was the decision. Then I was going to run all of them for St. Jude.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's incredible. It just hit me. I think that how you said, like, you haven't had something like with the world majors where it was like, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to finish. I feel like when you talk about how this whole thing snowballed, I feel like the next snowball is huge for you. Whatever it is, I think you just need a little bit of time. And because one of our questions is like, what's next? And you already said, like, you're not sure about that part. I know we talked about the high rocks, but I just have to chime in. And I think that in so many ways, you're just getting started. You've already done something so incredible, but whatever's on the horizon that's next is going to be huge. I mean, it's just no small feat, any of this that you've done, but the how much money you've raised and that it's always been with St. Jude, that you felt this very passionate connection to doing this. It's very inspiring, that's for sure. I hope other people hear this and feel it in their heart and have that moment that I want to do this same exact thing. That sounds like it was incredible, incredibly fun. But I mean, it hit me while you were talking. I was like, oh, she's gonna do something like she's just getting started here.
Maybe.
No, I
I hope
really
so. I hope so. I hope so. I do. I love the sharing with social media. Like I just started my social media 2 years ago at 35. And that was also a stigma of like, you're 35. Like, why are you going to get into the world of social media, you know, with all
35 is young.
Yeah, what the heck?
35. We're all 30s
No, I
here.
know, I
That's
know, but it
young.
is, you know, and I've had so much fun. Now, mind you, there's definitely days when it comes to like social media of like, I'm just comparing myself and I'm crying because I put so much into this post and it didn't do what I thought
I
it was
know.
going to do. Like we all have those days, but I also think that, I've been able to use it in a way that has like filled me up. I love to write. I am a writer to write. So that's also been able to give me the space to be able to do that and like learn that. And so it's been fun.
Maybe we're gonna sense a book coming out soon.
Maybe one day, maybe one day, maybe one day. I do have something in my back pocket, though. I do have something coming up for 2026.
Cool.
I mean, I just finished Tokyo in March, and I have not had a single urge to run another marathon or a major or even think about it. And St. Jude reached out to me a couple months ago because Cape Town was supposed to become the eighth world major. And we
Yeah.
just saw what happened with Cape Town being, having to cancel because of the wind and everything. So they will no longer become an eighth world major.
Wow.
Right, right. At least not probably this year, because you have to have 2 consecutive years
Okay.
of certain standards to become a world major. And so that one did pique my interest enough. And I was already talking to St. Jude that if this happened, they were actually going to announce it the week after New York if it had passed. And obviously that didn't happen. But while all of this was happening, well, that piqued my interest enough. I just decided on a whim that I would put in for the lottery for the Sydney Marathon. And I just found
Hey!
out I'm running the Sydney Marathon in 2026.
My gosh, that's incredible. Seventh world major,
Happy
baby.
World Menu, baby. Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
So
Oh,
fun.
that's awesome.
How is Presley feeling about knowing that that's on her next radar for a trip?
Which is, you know what I mean? All right. These kids, while they can be so proud of you, they can be so humbling as well. I completely understand like why she said what she said, but I did. I went to her. I was so excited. And her first, and she was excited. She was like, congratulations. She's like, when is it? And she's like, August. I was like, she's like, it better not be my first week of school.
She'll be a senior.
She'll be a senior. She's like, I'm not going. If it's
Senior
my
week.
like senior year,
Oh my
man,
gosh.
I'm not going. And I'm just like, you're so, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God. Thankfully it's not, and she'll be able to go. And now she's very much looking forward to it. But she was immediately like, I'm not missing my first year senior year.
I
wouldn't
love
want
it.
to either. I wouldn't want to either. But it's just like, they bring you up, they take you down. Like it's humbling.
It's so true. I mean, my kids ask that all the time. We have a marathon scheduled right during their recitals for dance, and they're like, "You're not making us miss our recital, are
Yep.
you?" And I was like, "Of
Absolutely.
course not."
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah,
Wow.
I see Shanna's kids at pickup all the time, obviously, and so we were just talking, and one of her daughters, I I swear she asks me every time if I know when her dance recital is and if we're gonna be there because we're
Aw.
both running the marathon. I'm like,
Yep.
We are not gonna miss it. I promise. I will be there. Okay, your mom's
Mhm.
gonna be there. We're not gonna miss it."
100%. I think, you know what? I think that we have shown them through like our passions how to show up for people so much that they're like, no, you also have to, you show up for me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's like we always have, right? We've always showed up for them. But then when they start to get those, whether it's cheer or something important, at school or whatever, and she's like, no, this is like, where are you? Front row. Like, this is
Yes.
important. Like, they can really recognize like what is like super important to them. And I think that's pretty cool.
It is
Yeah,
pretty cool. And I
it
think
is.
it shows a good healthy balance for them too. Of like respecting yourself and what means a
Yeah.
lot to you, to be able to voice that to you says a lot about your relationship with your daughter, that she felt open enough to even share that. Like, I'm not missing senior week.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Just like
and
email
I
them
Yeah.
love
all.
that.
Defer it a year. She's
Yeah.
like, that's not, no, no. I'll go with you when I'm a freshman in college. Then I'll want to skip everything. No, defer
Yeah.
it.
Well,
You're like, you already got six. You already got six. Okay. The seventh thing, like they just started this thing up. It's not real. Like, no, we don't, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
And we know it's not going to stop at 7. It's going to
It's
go
not.
to as long
No.
as it needs to.
Yeah. Their goal is 9. Their goal is 9, and they'll for
Okay.
sure eventually get there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm
That's
curious to hear what the next few will be.
Well, I
Um,
think it'll definitely still be Cape Town. It'll be
okay.
Africa, Cape Town.
Okay.
They just have to get those 2 years back, and then the last one is Shanghai, I believe,
That'd be
and then
so
that
cool.
makes their 9. Then it
That is
is like the world majors, and that's their goal of like where they want to stop. That's at least like the gossip and the Reddit of the
Yeah.
world major world.
Yeah.
I'm probably saying something wrong. Somebody will yell at me. It's fine.
I mean, you can say anything and I'll believe it because I haven't ran once.
The hair. No, it's the hair.
It is fair. It is fair. Well, kind of going back just as a last question, like if you could talk to your 19-year-old version self, where you were then and where you are now. I know this is like a big loaded question. Like what would you tell her? Like I just feel like old you is just sitting there so giddy and so proud. Like I think about that moment when you were in that Walmart bathroom as a
My God.
joke taking that pregnancy test, which by the way, I just had to laugh because my biggest craving in pregnancy used to be Taco Bell. Every time I ate Taco Bell, my husband was always like, "Are you pregnant?" So it just made me laugh. I had to share that, but I'm
No.
curious. Yeah.
Girl, I get that there's a more important question on the table, but I always say, like, my daughter is so steadfast in, like, who she is. She knows who she is before she was even born. That girl is so obsessed with Taco Bell. It was like I
Oh
swear
my
to God, I swear
gosh.
to God, in second grade, they asked, like, kids, like, they gave them popsicles and, like, markers, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to build, like, your favorite place in the world." Most second graders would be like, "Home," right? Like, mom and dad. She built Taco Bell. She built I've been saying it for the longest time. Freaking
Oh
Taco.
my
It
gosh.
was like she thought it would be her honor to work at Taco Bell, like one day. Like there was a couple years where like that was a lifelong dream. That is where we were going to end up. Absolutely at Taco Bell. And and that's what I craved the entire time I was pregnant. And like she
I
knew
love it.
before she was even born
Oh
what she
my
loved.
gosh. I love that so much. I
My
love Taco
God, it's
Bell,
so fu I
pregnant or
literally
not.
I could not believe it. Everybody's just like we're walking around the second grade room, like they're telling us like what all these projects are about. Freaking Taco Bell. Just a purple Taco Bell.
A purple taco. I love it so
I
much.
love that she knows the colors too. That's
Yeah.
so
Right.
Yeah, she's like she's like, "This is my home. This is my second home.
This is
This is what
yes, this is
it has everything I need." Okay.
100%, 100%.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh my gosh. If I could it is a loaded question. If I could go
Yeah.
back and, talk to my 19-year-old self, I think we would talk all day, and I think I would be the one listening all day. I would just let that girl what she was going through, I would just sit there and listen. Everything that she wanted to talk about, and I just feel like I wish she's my biggest inspiration. And so I would tell her that because I do. I think about her so fondly and so often. Of she gives me so much motivation still to this day of everything that she went through, everything that she did that I hold on to that so tightly. I don't think that there's ever like a stronger version of myself than what I was those first 5 years with Presley. And I will be forever just in awe of her and in debt to her that anything that I'm looking at going after right now as a 37-year-old woman, I'm like, my 21-year-old self, she deserves it. And so even if I'm not doing it for myself right now, I will do it for her because that girl did it all. That girl did it all for us. Like she laid the foundation for everything in my life. So I would beyond love to have coffee with her. I would love to hug her. I would love to listen to her. I would love to say, baby girl, I've got it for a while. Go take a fucking nap. Like, go get some
Yeah.
rest. Go get some rest. Go get some Taco Bell with Presley. Like,
Oh my gosh. I love that so much because I think it's so easy to like hate the old version of yourself. I feel like a lot of times we see those pictures of like Transformation Thursday, right? And it's like their old version 5 years ago or postpartum and we're like kind of bagging on who we were, but it's like it took that person to believe in the person you are now to be where you're at. And
yeah,
it's like that's such a humbling thing to hear you talk so highly of who you were versus like, oh, I wish she would have known this or like kind of beat her down more, which is like what the world did to her in that moment. And I just love that you just like, you almost want to like cuddle her and just like thank her for how resilient she was because she made you who you are
yeah.
today.
I'm forever in debt to her, forever in debt to her. And I will make sure that we accomplish everything that we ever think of or ever dream of because she did it for me.
I love that so
She's
much.
she's my favorite. She's my favorite version of myself for sure.
That's
She's an
amazing.
animal.
Yeah,
She was
animal.
she was an animal. She was a straight like, I don't even know. I don't even know how she did it. Like, it's wild.
She had to be.
Yeah.
Had to be. Oh my gosh, incredible. It's just such a testament to how resilient we are as humans, and I think how scary motherhood can be for anybody entering into it is right before you become a mom, and I don't even know what I'm gonna do. What do I do? Just how resilient we are. Like, once we find out about being a mom, we just figure it out and we learn, and you have to learn with your child. And I just think it's such an incredible story. I think everything you've talked about is just so inspirational, and I mean, not just the 19-year-old version of you, but everything you've done, the all of the races and all of the money, and just that it's you followed your heart and you went with it, and it just seems like it was second nature to just do all of these incredible things, and I think that's just so inspiring. I'm so happy we've been able to talk to you and tell your story.
This was so much fun. We could
I
we could
know.
sit out here for another hour and talk
We
about
really can.
We really could. I know.
And you can show us your hair routine while you're talking with us.
I'll go take a shower. I'll go take a shower. I'll get the blow dryer. I'll show
Yeah.
you all of the products,
Oh my
like a
gosh.
personalized tutorial just for you. No, this was like you guys. This was so much fun. This was like I try to like what can bring me joy like in the day, and this I had so many nerves going into it, and this just felt like seriously like such a fun conversation, and I am talking with like two of my girlies. I wish we could run to. Like we need to
I
figure out.
I
know.
wish.
We
I
need to run
know.
together. We need to yap together. There's so much more. There's so much more to talk about.
I
There's so
know. That's always how I feel too. I feel like we just covered so many broad
Yeah.
strokes here, and there's just so much more nitty-gritty that we could get into. I think it's just so inspiring, and even if the story isn't the same as someone else's, it's very relatable in
yeah.
just so many ways, or just inspiring, and just to not be a victim of your situation. Like, I think I like that's always what I want people to hear is that motherhood is not like you're not a victim of it. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's a gift, and
Powerful. Yeah.
yeah, it's just a gift, and it should always be viewed that way, and, like I said, like, no matter how much is on social media, it's still whatever reason, the connotation with it can still just have, like, a negative drive, so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jacqueline, it was such an honor and treat to have you on here. Is there any like final words you want to leave to any of our audience or anything that's like, I don't know, last minute thoughts that are on your mind right now that you want to just like conclude with?
No, I think it's just truly to you two. Like, thank you guys for also showing up. Like, being on social media takes such vulnerability
Yeah.
and so much more vulnerability when you're honest through your journeys. Like it feels like you're showing up naked all the time. and and you guys do that. And I look for women that do that. You know what I mean? And it was so even it was hard for me to like be true to myself when I started on social media because it can be so easy to, put on the filters or put on the lies or, like reach for certain things because that's just what social media can push you into. So I'm just thankful that you guys are in the space. You guys are also sharing your story. And I truly do believe like the more people that share their stories, people are able to, pick from pieces from it that they can relate to. And I think that's all we all want. We want to relate, we want to connect, we want to yap. We want to
Yeah.
be ourselves and other people, and you guys do that. And so, thank you for doing that on social media and for the podcast. And I appreciate it, and I adore you too. So, thank you
Well,
for today.
thank you.
Aw.
Yes.
Is there anywhere that anybody can find you, like your social handles or you have any websites or anything like that that they can get like in touch with you?
Yeah. Instagram, it's real life running, or Jacqueline Richelle. You'll be able to look it up both ways. But yeah, on social media. Yep.
Awesome. And we'll include that in the show notes and we'll include that in the episode promotion so everybody will be able to find you there too. But thank you
Perfect.
so much, Jacqueline. I really appreciate it. I like want to meet your daughter so bad. I love seeing your guys' little reels together and it
Love
like
her.
makes me so excited to be a
No.
girl mom too, to be able to know I get to take them to prom and things like that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
thank you for just making that teenage years look so fun and so enriching for us moms that are younger and still in the grind of the little kid life. Because it does, it changes the narrative. And I love that we get to see that in you. So,
Thank you.
Well, thank you everybody that listened. Thanks for tuning in. And as you know, we are still growing this new platform of our recording. So if you can just rate, subscribe, and share with another mama. If you feel like you're somebody that wants to get your story out there and you have something that you want to share or contribute, please reach out to us on the Miles with Moms podcast Instagram page, because we are looking for diversity. We're looking to just find as much different stories that we can get out there so that every mom has somebody to relate to. Our whole reason of why we started this podcast, Olivia and I, is because we were on a run and we kind of went through our own moments of isolation in the running community and in a small, we live in a kind of a small town, and being able to connect with each other through Instagram, it was like we were bridging that gap to motherhood and community and relationship. And we think it's so important as mothers, especially as mother runners, when you're out there in the grind of training, to not be alone. And so we really hope that this podcast will reach that to as many moms as we can, because we want to bridge that gap in motherhood. So, but thank you, ladies. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.